Let's ride.
At 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, the pandemic-era immigration restriction known as Title 42 came to an end. The run-up to the lifting of that policy that allowed the United States to quickly expel migrants at the border due to health concerns led to thousands of people from other countries gathering along the Mexico border with the hopes of seeking asylum. Homeland Security officials anticipated 10,000 migrants per day will try to cross into the United States after the lifting of Title 42. But according to the New York Times, on Tuesday, border officials apprehended more than 11,000 migrants who had crossed illegally, according to internal data, an increase over the 7,000 to 8,000 crossings a day last week. Now, communities along the border are trying their best to handle the influx of migrants. Joining me.
Months ago and had to walk here. You can't underestimate the toll of that. People don't want to see this happening on either side of the political spectrum, and so the question becomes, who has the answer? The fact that this has been typified as being a Trump-era policy, Title 42, it's ostensibly a health-era policy to say it's a pandemic policy to turn around people so they don't spread disease. It was very much the intention of Trump to control migration. It was never really the attempt to actually control COVID-19. In the meantime, though, the Biden administration hasn't come up with its own clear strategy, and Kamala Harris was in charge. She was the border czar. It's been a difficult thing to translate in that aspect for her, and so that's going to hurt them politically. But what we are going to see is Republicans making hay of this because they don't have a lot of other good stories to tell at the moment. This is one of them because these aren't the kind of scenes we were seeing when Donald Trump was president.
5 minutes later.
Families, they are ripping kids away from their parents. Who's getting enriched? The cartels. That's on Joe Biden.
What about all the teenagers and 20-somethings in the United States who are dead because of a pill that was given to them, but they thought it was, something else, and it was a fentanyl-laced pill? What about that separation of families? American families have been separated by the crime from the border, have they not? Permanently.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And just on that fentanyl point, I want to say again, Laura, in my state, in the state of Missouri, fentanyl, #1 killer of people between 18 and 54. The state is awash in it. Schools, our communities, where's it coming from? Across the southern border. This is on Joe Biden, and it's about to get infinitely worse as they lift Title 42. We cannot allow this to happen. We have got to close that border and enforce the law.
Senator, I said this last summer.
I tell you,
how is this not an impeachable ongoing impeachable offense, what they're allowing to happen to this country?
This is what I said to Alejandro Mayorkas, who you played a clip of a minute ago, last time he was before the Senate. I said, how is it you're still in office? I mean, why are you sitting here after what you have allowed to happen, the drugs that have come in, the children sold into slavery, the crime? It is outrageous. He needs to be removed from office.
You what?
The surge of migrants the Biden administration was braced for has not materialized. Still, tens of thousands of people are crowded in Mexico, hoping to enter the United States. Many arrived after perilous journeys, only to find confusing new U.S. asylum rules, bulky technology, and reinforced borders. This after COVID-era border restrictions were lifted earlier this week. CBS's Nicole Skanga is in Brownsville, Texas. Nicole, good evening.
Good evening, Major. Law enforcement braced for a Title 42 migration wave that never broke. A senior U.S. official telling CBS News some 6,300 migrants arrived Friday, a significant drop-off from the more than 10,000 daily migrant arrivals earlier this week. Limbo, south of the wall, north of the border. At this crossing near San Diego, tired and hungry families thrust hands out in desperation, holding out for supplies and a chance to cross into the U.S.
I feel that they have hope.
In nearby Tijuana, Mexico, a sea of tense and frustration as migrants struggle to make immigration appointments on the CBP One app. Back at this U.S. Customs and Border Protection Processing Center in South Texas, agents on standby.
For us, it's a quiet day here.
Chief Patrol Agent of the Rio Grande Valley, Gloria Chavez, tells us nearly all of the 1,900 migrants who crossed into her sector Friday face removal proceedings.
If they enter illegally into the United States, there will be consequences.
For days, migrants bustling into overcrowded shelters in South Texas, many penniless and traumatized, like Venezuelan Daisy Guerrero. She told us she prayed for courage. Federal authorities have increased deportation flights and added space at detention facilities to ease overcrowding.
We're not out of the woods yet.
We are absolutely not out of the woods yet. We're going to continue to work really hard.
And tonight, legal sparring after a federal judge in Florida temporarily blocked the Biden administration's migrant release policy designed to alleviate overcrowding. The Department of Justice says it plans to appeal. Major?
Nicole Skanga in Brownsville, Texas. We thank you.
Built on legends. And that legends are a way of understanding things greater than ourselves. Forces that shape our lives, events that defy explanation. Individuals whose lives soar to the heavens or fall to the earth. This is how legends are born.